Nehawu is once again threatening to bring the country to a standstill. The union wants a salary increase for healthcare workers and enough personal protective equipment for those on the front line. Nehawu General Secretary Zola Sepata joins us now via Skype. But thanks so much for your time, Zola. I appreciate it. So you've been in talks with the president. You've been in talks with government officials. For the past couple of months, you've been threatening to go on strike, but you're still doing the same thing. How long are you going to continue with these talks?
Good afternoon to you and the viewers. I must make a point that this is not a threat. This is what we are going to do. But we are giving all due processes to take place because it has never been our demand to go on strike. Our demand has been more about being paid money that is due to us and also protect the lives of workers in general, but of frontline workers in particular amidst this COVID-19. So it's not a threat. It's a promise that we will make. And we had to consider the request made by the president in our meeting to give space to this discussion with the high-level leadership of government and of the public sector unions. But anything else, if it's not helping, that's a last resort that we're going to consider.
Yeah, so a threat or a promise, the point is that it hasn't happened yet. I guess that you're now giving the president the time that he's asking for. But what if government doesn't stick to its word and doesn't give you that salary increase that you're demanding?
Of course, we are left with one option to ensure that we get what is due to us. And that option is really to fight for ourselves on the street. That's the only option that we are left out of anything else, because we will not have been, we're not going to be blamed for any kind of an action that we'll take, because we have exhausted every available avenue for us to be listened and to listen. And that's the only weapon that workers will have, and that weapon that we'll have to use is a last resort.
Yeah. So what are workers saying, right? Because we've seen them frustrated, picketing outside of so many hospitals and clinics, and they're now being told to wait, government's going to get back to us. How are they feeling? Of course,
workers, you will imagine that when they were expecting something to come as far back as the 1st of April, they will not necessarily be happy with these delays. And equally, we are not happy with these delays. But we do think that as leadership, we will have to do everything, because they've mandated us to do everything that helps us to ensure that they get their money. So they also understand that we will have to do everything. But also it's important also to recognize that given the restrictions and the difficulties, measures put in place of COVID, we have been making the call being at 33% at the workplace. Now that we are at level 1, we're 50%, and we think that this number is sufficient, but also we must give space to the what President made it, because it's us who wanted to meet with the President. It will be fair of us to also take into account what he has raised as a part of helping us to find solutions. So workers, they do understand, but there will be those who would have been saying that we have been really on the street and we are starting to get into a fight. But we say to them, let's do everything as you mandated us to do. And tomorrow we'll be meeting with other public sector unions, both those who are in the fold of COSATU and outside, and communicating a message. So we'll continue to do everything in our power, because remember, we said we wanted to be listened to. So if there are still ears to listen to us, we'll have to appreciate that, but up to a particular point. That's why our National Executive Committee yesterday said up to the end of October. So anything beyond that, we will not going to be listening to it.
Yeah, very quickly. So when's the cutoff date here when you say to government, we've had enough, we're going on strike?
We have said we are giving this space and for all discussions, be it through the ministers or directly through this high level of leadership. Well, that must be concluded within the space of this month. By the end of this month, everything else should be concluded, even us having made our mind clear in terms of going to the street. So we have only that period. Anything less than that, we are not going to take it anymore.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. That was Zola Sepata, Nehawu's General Secretary.